This is the start of a new segment and playlist on Healing with the Tarot. It's entitled Advice Would Be Nice. And this week's advice is to do with love and relationships. Every week now, I will be adding to this playlist. If you have some need for guidance on any particular subject, they are timeless readings, so you will be able to access them on my YouTube channel and go for the guidance that you need. Today, though, we are focusing on love, and the first card is Challenges. All true soul connections involve challenges that can be overcome together. The second card for today's offering is Cupid. Love is in the air when Cupid is around. And finally, card 3 is Attraction. Divine soul counterpart attraction transcends superficiality. So take a moment. You can pause the video here until you feel you've picked your card that you're most drawn to. Without further ado, let's get on with your reading today. Hello, card number ones. Welcome to your reading today. The segment is Advice Would Be Nice, and this week we are covering love and relationships. You picked Challenges. All true soul connections involve challenges that can be overcome together. So, just as two dancers learn to perfect the dance by overcoming preliminary missteps and wrong turns, so too, true soul connections develop harmony by beating challenges as one. The appearance of this card suggests that now is a time to work together to overcome any obstacles in your path. The card of marriage and of union. But this card comes today as the situation. So this revolves around the whole issue of marriage, of coming together, of being able to unify the two of you. Maybe it might be that one of you wants marriage and the other one is a commitment phobe and doesn't see the necessity in a piece of paper or a contract. But I feel a sense of sadness in this card today, as though there is a divide between you. But as with every situation, these issues are set before us for our own personal growth, for one, and two, to be overcome in a relationship. When is it right to self-sacrifice for another person if they do not value your values? I have found in my past soul connections that it wasn't that the person was actually shy of commitment, and it wasn't that they didn't want marriage. It was that I was not the right one for marriage with them. It was that although I was valued, it wasn't as though I was valued for the long term. I was a karmic situation, and that the person, when they'd finished with me, moved on. And the next person that they married was the one. It's that's old adage, isn't it, when people say, I don't want kids and I don't want marriage. But the fact is, it's not that they don't want those things, it's just that you don't inspire that connection within them. And so then it becomes about you, not about them, because it's about what you're willing to sacrifice, what you're willing to put up with in order to keep them in your life. because you should be able to be with someone and be loved, and for them to want you to be their wife, for them to want to have children with you, for them to want the long term. And although we're coming into the era where sovereignty means that you don't need a piece of paper to be together, it really does come down to what you as a soul want for yourself, what you as a soul want for your life, and what you are prepared to put up with. Are you listening to your heart when that person tells you no? Does it inspire pain and hurt? Does it push you away on some level? Does it shut you down? Because if it does, that means that you're not being true to yourself and seeking out somebody who will be there for you in that way. You're giving up your happiness to keep someone else happy, because you're giving into their will rather than keeping to your own set of standards and boundaries. And we should all have them. And it shouldn't be about keeping someone in your life. It should be about whether you are happy with the arrangement. It should be about your own values and your own standards, and do they match theirs? You are the divine masculine or feminine, so therefore you should have your own set of non-negotiables that you want from life. And it's okay to have them. It's giving yourself permission. So this is the challenge in this relationship on multiple levels. You've got the challenge with that person. If you are finding that they are refusing marriage to you, you've got to ask why. And are you prepared for the love of them to give up your dreams, to give up what you need to feel secure in a relationship? The challenger comes to you as the Nine of Wands. This is the obstacle for this union, for this connection. And if I remember rightly, the Nine of Wands is about fear. Let me just get to the Nine of Wands for you. Yeah, it is. It's about the need to open up and to trust people. Holding on to old stories, the need to let go of old battles, the need to follow through and finish what you started, being trapped by your own boundaries or giving up. So this is a boundary issue here. As you can see, this is a boundary issue to do with marriage, to do with commitment. Now, it's either that you are the one that is saying no, and you are on one side and you are looking at this and saying, not on your life, Jack, am I going to commit? But then it becomes about why. Why do you not feel that you can commit to that individual? Why do you feel that marriage is a step too far? And why are you asking someone else to, who you know and can see and you love, why are you asking them to stay with you when you're not prepared to give that commitment to them? It is better to let someone go than to keep them in your selfish needs and your selfish wants. Because if that person is, if you're asking them to give up what they truly need to be secure and happy, then that's not an equal relationship. That is you and letting your fear govern someone else's life. And so it is about boundaries. It's about both of you coming together to overcome these challenges. Pile one, you may not stay with this person. I'm going to tell you that now. I don't feel like you might come out of this challenge together. Okay? Because we as souls have karmic relationships in order to shape and mold us into the sovereign divine beings that we're supposed to be for our true counterparts and the people that we end up with. The one. But if you have to be able to be honest with yourselves, and honesty and patience and understanding and truly being able to, honor your own boundaries and your own self-worth and your own needs is part of a good relationship. Because in order to be there for the other person, you have to be there for yourself. Because you're going to be able to be honest with them because you're honest with you. Fear of losing someone is when we start making allowances that actually go against our own sovereignty and our own needs and what we, our values, our boundaries. And once you start making allowances and dropping boundaries, you start to lose respect. And the reason this happens is because it's the self-respect that you're not keeping for yourself in order to maintain a happy relationship with someone else. And your self-respect should never be put on the line for another being. Not ever. If they truly love you, if they truly value you, they will respect your opinion and your honesty. And you should be able to speak openly and freely about these things with your person and overcome these challenges together. Once you start making excuses and once you start allowing a relationship to go the way someone else wants, you do feel that emptiness and that hollowness inside, and you do feel that misery, because I myself have felt it and I know what that feels like. Once you start giving up too much of yourself to make someone else happy because you love them and you want to keep them, but that's not the right person for you if they cannot respect and honor your boundaries and your feelings about something. If you two cannot come together and really move in a direction together like this on, you know, a parallel path, then the paths are going to split at some point. But how much of yourself do you lose before you let that person go? How many challenges do you allow to chip away at that sense of self-worth before you let them go? So it's about pushing beyond your own perceived limitations and remaining trusting and open to the process and trusting yourself in this situation. Let's have a look at the next card, which is action recommended for you. This is the Queen of Wands. And the Queen of Wands comes to you as a challenger today, in your shadow. Jealousy, being afraid to take a risk, not being totally honest with yourself. So you're being asked here to start being totally honest with yourself in this reading, in this relationship, okay? It's an optimal time to start building self-confidence and to let go of what people think and waning passions. Because once you cannot move in the same direction in a relationship together, passions do start to wane. You start to lose yourself. You start to resent the other person on some level because you're not getting what it is that you need from the relationship, because you're self-sacrificing in order to keep them happy. That's not how a relationship should run. The other person should value you and your needs and your loves and your wants just as much as you do theirs. Which means if you do come to this point in the road where one of you wants commitment and the other one doesn't, this relationship's probably not going to work in the way that you want, because you have to be on the same page. But giving up your life streams, giving up what you need as security, is not going to help save a relationship. In fact, it's only going to help hurt it, because you're giving up on your own dreams and your own sense of security and happiness. So it's about filling your world with an intense light of truth that connects and incites passions that are going to drive you forward. And these challenges are here to help you, to shape you, to bring back your sovereignty, to allow you to grow. Relationships are not always permanent things. They are arrangements between souls that allow for growth and allow for self-introspection and allow you to see what you're doing repeatedly in relationships that's causing the same behavioral patterns and the same lack of commitment and the same, indecisiveness. And the same, we always have patterns that follow. And the reason that we have these patterns is so that we can actually recognize and understand our life's lessons that we come here to Earth to learn. I went through that process with mine. And it was a long process because I kept repeating the same mistakes. And it wasn't until I learnt them and that I went inwards and I started to value myself and self-love and self-respect and boundaries, that the situations began to change and I began to change, because I realized I didn't need someone to complete me. I'm already complete. And you will get to that point. And then you will find the one that wants to marry you. Why? Because you're already complete. You're not a project. You're the finished article. And you are a catch because you value and love yourself so much that the boundaries that you give others will be respected. And you will only attract those that actually will fit in within those boundaries. Everyone else will fall away because they cannot step up to meet you. And that is how it should be. And it is our own need for love and fear of loneliness, because we're not complete within ourselves, that draws us and drives us into these situations with souls where both of you are not complete. Both of you have insecurities and karma that needs to be resolved. And so you are mirrors to each other. I'm sorry this is turning into a bit of a challenging reading for you, pile number one, but I can only go with what I'm getting here. Now, your outcome is the Two of Wands clarified by the Ace of Swords. Now, the Two of Wands, you see, because you've got all wands in this reading, and I, apart from this sword, it's all about doing. It's all about action. These challenges are all about the actions that you are taking at the moment with your partner, or have been taking with partners. You see, you need to make a choice. See, the outcome is here is you need to make a choice to really do the thing you want to do or not. Kind of like laying it out, isn't it, really? You can dream and envision it, or you can begin to live it. This is the challenge. Not everybody is supposed to be our long-term partner. They come to show us what it is we truly want and truly need in our lives to be happy. And that is by showing you the lack of it. By you stepping up and recognizing and validating your own emotions actually are sovereign, actually are valid, and that you are deserving, that you are entitled to happiness. And that is in your relationships, okay? This is like commitment. This is finding the one. And in order to do that, the challenges that you face are there in order to inspire these changes within you. And it is about you choosing today. Planning and imagining and can have us feeling like observers of a dream. And our action is the only way to bring that dream to life. It's time to choose between the one that's cozily rooted in the place you already know, clinging on to a relationship maybe that does not serve, that is not equal, where you are self-sacrificing. Or the one that leans into exciting new possibilities. Take a deep breath, because self-initiated change can be scary. The only way to take the strides towards the goal is to make your move. Learn that thing, call that contact, make that decision. Non-action won't get you there. And will likely have you feeling the angst of dreaming the dream instead of walking the talk. Use the fire energy of the wands to initiate your shift. And look how many wands you have. There's a lot of energy pushing you forward in this reading from Spirit on the challenges that you've been having and experiencing. And they're asking you to make a choice today. They're asking you to push forward for your best, highest good and the highest good of the other person. Because the fact of the matter is, you're not serving them if you're not happy. You're being dishonest with yourself and with that person. You are saying, well, I really want this, but I'm going to give up my life's happiness so I can make you happy. But that's not the way relationships are supposed to work. Yes, there's give and take. But if this is your core happiness and what you need in your life to feel whole, to feel complete, and to feel like you are valued, then you need to say that. You need to act on that. And you need to have those boundaries that, you're not playing. You're not going to take a step back. You're going to walk away from that person if they are not going to walk the same path with you. And it's not you being selfish. That's you living in your vibration and sovereignty and saying, I'm looking for someone who's going to be a great complement to me, who's whole like I am, who's on the same path as me, who's going to add to me as I am them and not take from me and not expect me to diminish what is me in order to fit in their life. And so the world is filled with opportunities for adventure. So welcome them into your life with planned action moving forward. And it really is about honesty. And yes, it's a painful transition. And leaving a relationship that does not serve you is hard because you have to be there for yourself and you have to walk away. And it's not about you not being worthy of love. And that's where you need to address that within you and say, it's not because I wasn't good enough to be loved, because I am. It's just that they didn't have the right vibrational frequencies to match my love, to be in the same zone as me. We just weren't a great match. And what's going to happen is clarifying the action. Obviously, Ace of Swords is a new beginning. It's clarity. You are going to find clarity about what you want, what you don't want. You know, new ideas, the aha moment of who you are, what you want. That sovereignty that you've been craving and your heart's been crying out for is going to come into view from the actions you take, from the fire that builds within your soul to drive you forward, to know that you're worthy, to know that you are entitled to everything that you want in your life, and you don't have to self-sacrifice in order to get it. The right person will see your value and will want what you want, period. And so, you know, you're going to have to go through your memories and your past experiences, start seeing the patterns, start seeing the lesson, start learning the lesson, start enforcing boundaries, start working on that self-love, and start pushing yourself in the direction you want your life to go, because you are the one in the driving seat, and you are a sovereign divine being who is worthy of all the love, all the success, and all the happiness in the world. Let's see what other messages we have for you today. Spirit saying in these challenges, stay strong, fight for love, but choose your battles wisely. You know, you've got to choose your battles wisely. Choose what you're fighting for wisely, and know that there are certain things that are non-negotiable. You don't fight for certain things because they're non-negotiable. These are my values. This is me. These are my boundaries. They're non-negotiable. This is what I want in life. If that's not you, then don't even engage. Walk away from me. I'm not interested. It's okay to have those level of boundaries because it saves you heartache. It saves you time, because the waste men and women will not make the effort. It is a great way of weeding out the wheat from the chaff. Stability. I mean, you know, that's what we seek in relationships and within ourselves. We have to have stability. Stability comes from knowing your boundaries, knowing yourself, knowing that you're worthy of love, knowing that the self-love you're giving yourself is more than enough, that you don't need anyone else to give you that stability because you already have it. What you're looking for is a partner in life, someone to walk with you who's equally stable, able, and emotionally balanced and available. In order to have those things, you have to have those things, and you have to reject those that are not there with you and going to match your frequency and energy. And it's not that you are being unfair, it's that you have to have happiness and stability and confidence in your life, and you can't do that if the other person isn't matching you and is not even going to entertain you as a long-term prospect because of their own fears, insecurities, and selfish wants and needs. So stay vigilant at this time, during this time. Start watching what's going on. Start listening, truly listening. If you are in a partnership still at the moment, but things are going really crap and they don't want to like commit beyond a certain point, start watching how they speak to you, start watching how they're treating you, and start watching what they're doing, because you might start to notice that there is an energy imbalance between the two of you, and you have inadvertently allowed that by bending your boundaries in order to allow for a relationship to be maintained. And so therefore they are just carrying on treating you a certain way, and you've not even really been consciously aware of it. So, and if you're not in a relationship right now, but this is to do with your relationship pattern and status, then really, staying vigilant and starting to look over what it is that's been going wrong and what you've been doing that has been maintaining this continual cycle will help you break free from it. It looks as though somebody is coming around, hoping for another chance and wanting to try again because of the challenges that you've been having. But staying vigilant and really recognizing the problems that you've had. Well, are you coming around again to repeat the same pattern? That's what I would want to know about that person. Are you coming back changed, or are you coming back the same? Because if you're coming back and hoping just to pick up where we left off and that you can manipulate me into continuing the way you want, no, that's a no. It has to be equal opportunities in a relationship, and there has to be open communication, and there has to be flexibility, but there has to be boundaries, and they have to be honored, and you have to honor the boundaries, not them. They have to walk up to those boundaries and respect them, but you're the one that has to enforce them and keep them. Okay. The angels come to you today with a message of release. 999 is not an emergency, is it? That's in the UK usually. 999 is a bit of a state of emergency, but it represents release in angel numbers. And your current circumstances are ending, so you might take advantage of better ones. Here we go. There's the message from the angels. This is ending. Your relationship that you've been struggling with here in this reading is ending. What goes around comes around. It's a cycle, and it's about cycle breaking. If you are experiencing a significant change or conclusion, viewing your life as a series of cycles or chapters may be helpful. How can you make room for something new to emerge? Which is the message that I had been giving to you, isn't it? It's literally what this message is. Drama alert. Oh, relationships are a lot of drama sometimes, especially if they're karmic ones. It's just dramatic. It's a lot of ups and downs. It's a lot of emotional trauma, emotional baggage that both of you bring to the table, and you have arguments, and one's more into it than the other one, and then you've got the commitment issues. And you've got to remember that you have your own independence and should treasure your independence and your sovereignty at all times, because this is what you're coming here to learn. It's one of the values, is boundaries. And you have a soul mission. Each one of you has a soul mission to inspire healing in the other. And so even when these are karmic relationships, we are still healing. And you need to take a few deep breaths and focus inward. You need time to think things over and consider your options. Here we go. Look, see? Here's the choices. One stuck in the ground, one going to new adventures. Are you going to stick with this relationship, or are you going to break free? And, it's time to start thinking about that. And new ideas and new visions are going to come to you to do with it. And it's about self-reflection. It's about growth. So you might not believe it, but you're heading in the right direction. And what appears to be a lull in activity is just a natural part of the process. So, if you are in a no contact at the moment, this is your time to actually start thinking, really thinking and being serious about what it is that you want. Perseverance, change of perspective, reflection, inner strength, and wisdom and enlightenment. From our relationships, we do gain new perspectives, strength, enlightenment that we didn't have before the start of that relationship. And it comes from the difficulties that we experience. They develop us into more compassionate, empathic people who have developed self-love and independence and purpose from being in those relationships. So there is a need for a change of perspective on whatever has taken over you now in this situation that's been going on with these challenges to do with this commitment issue. And you need to keep going down the road you're on to reach your wisdom and reach for the wisdom within, and then you'll know what the next step is. Use your intuition, the gut feeling. Your gut will let you know. And it's about not ignoring your gut and your heart, because they are the ones that really keep you on track. And when I was younger and I ignored my gut feeling about a relationship, and my gut was screaming, don't do it, don't do it. I ignored that and thought that it was my fear and anxiety that was overwhelming the situation, because I'd had such bad past experiences that I overread that. And I had the worst relationship of my life. So listen to your gut. Follow your gut, because it's more than just a feeling. Be real with people. Be real with people and be real with yourself, most importantly. And focus on meaningful relationships, because how is it meaningful if one of you is committed and the other one's not so much and just wants to keep you in their convenient sphere as is because it suits them? That's not a relationship, is it? That's an arrangement of convenience, and you are the one paying the price. Treat others with respect and yourself, or else karma will bite you in the ass. And don't forget, 3 is a crowd, so there might be somebody else that is attached to this reading. For someone who's watching this, I feel like that there are going to be several different people watching this. It all is still, the core message still applies, but 3 is a crowd. And if you have some level of concern or issue about another person that's in the picture, then insecurities, fears need to be addressed, but also don't shut yourself down to the truth of what's going on in order to keep your relationship where you feel it is, because that's lying to yourself, because you already know the truth. Slow down. Pay close attention to the people in your life and your surroundings. You're being asked to stay vigilant. Slow down, pay attention, start thinking about truth, about direction. Where do you want your life to go? What do you want for yourself? Also pay attention to your physical health, because our physical health always gets affected by negative interactions and relationships. So, stress, arguments, fears, they all play into affecting our health, because our cortisol level spikes, and then, shit happens. So don't freak out. It's a warning to be careful and awake to avoid any further issues. Communicate clearly and keep healthy boundaries. Oh my goodness, you cannot make these messages up, honestly. It's me talking about healthy boundaries. This is all about boundaries. Now, this person said they want to come around. So if this is for the people who are in no contact, I want to reach out, but I don't know how. I was selfish and stuck in my ego. These are all messages from your person. Please take them how they resonate. I'm sorry I hurt you. I didn't realize what I had until it was gone. You're worth more to me than I let on. And the final message, I'm scared you will reject me. Be mindful with this person that's coming back around, because obviously all relationships are challenges. For some of you, these are challenges and you will stay with this person. But for others, this is about you learning about sovereignty, about boundaries, about valuing yourself and your dreams and your future. And having somebody in it that's going to match your frequency, match your dreams, visions for the future and desires, because they have their own that are in vibrational match with you. It's not about you changing yourself to somebody else. Okay? You don't change yourself to match someone else to keep them. That's not how relationships work. You should be loved for being you and also have the same path that you wish to share. If that's not happening, it's up to you to maintain boundaries and walk away so you can find your true happiness with the right person. This has been your reading today, my darlings. My love to you all. There's messages for everyone in here, I believe. Take what resonates, please lovingly leave the rest. My name's Amy. You've been watching Healing River Tarot. Advice would be nice. Please leave me a thumbs up if this has helped you and subscribe to the channel. It's free to do. Every little bit of support and interaction is going to help this channel grow. Namaste, my beautiful darlings. My love to you all. I will catch you in next week's reading. Bye.